apologize. My name is Kimberly Crossan. I record all my calls for my own purposes and to make sure that I'm protected. Now, I called in regards to a complaint of somebody committing fraud on food stamp benefit, as well as receiving rental assistance to live in an apartment downstairs from me when he actually resides in a different apartment. And as a result of this, I also have made a report to Department of Children and Family Services in regards to him emotionally abusing my grandson. Now, over the weekend, somebody showed up at my home, which is across the hall from my daughter. She is not the perpetrator. The accused is her boyfriend. They knocked on my daughter's door, DCF did, and then they knocked on mine. I'm the caller. That violates my rights to protection as well as my daughter. So I've been trying religiously and diligently for the past few days to contact somebody in regards to this, because I don't believe that I should have been violated, my daughter shouldn't have been violated, and I have to live in fear because the accused knows that I made a call against him. Now, I clearly know, and again, this call is recorded, I clearly know my rights were violated. I clearly know that they had no business knocking on my door, knowing that I was the caller, alerting the accused. And I would just like to know, who are we going to speak to and get this remediated? Because I have a case number for it, which they didn't offer me. They didn't offer me that in the beginning. I had to call and get that today, and the lady was very rude to me, and I have that in recording as well.
Okay, what's the case number?
309063.
All right, and do you know what social security number this is under?
I don't know what social security number it would be under. I know that I'm the caller. The accused is named Kevin Bickford. And when they looked it up, they said that they couldn't see where DCF came to my door, but I can tell you I know they did.
Okay.
And can you hold just a second, ma'am? I have another call. I'll be right back. It's another state call. Thank you. Hello?
Hi, Kimberly. This is Ann from Economic Services. How are you today?
I'm all right, Han. How are you?
I'm okay. So what can I do for you today?
I'm calling. I was just on the phone with somebody else and hung up with them. This is a recorded call for my protection as well, and the fact that I have a pacemaker. And so I'm calling in regards to a case that I called to make known and aware of the fact that I believe that my grandson is being emotionally abused and neglected by his father. And when I called, I told them not to contact me back by phone, to use email, and they did not do that. They called my phone twice, did not email me, and showed up at not only my daughter's door, which she's not the accused, her boyfriend is, and they then knocked on my door, and now they didn't announce to my daughter's door who they were, but they sure did knock on my door and announce that they were Vermont Department of Children and Family Services. And so therefore I feel as though, and after consulting with legal advisors, I have every right to believe and none to doubt that my rights were violated, and it jeopardizes my safety, which I have emotional and physical disabilities that are noted. I have PTSD from domestic violence. I have anxiety and a pacemaker, and it's all being interrupted by the fact that DCF allowed this accused to know who the caller was, and knowing that he's right across the hall from me, can hear every word I say, jeopardizes my well-being, as well as my grandson is still being neglected. He's yelled at. He's not even 13 months old. He's told to shut up, Kobe. All of it's in my complaint. So I don't know why DCF would go against protocol and put my life in jeopardy. And I want to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
And I would also
I'm
like to
gonna
know
have to-
if they were accompanied
so
by...
there's different departments in economic services, so I'm going to have to send this to a DCF supervisor management team.
Yeah, because I've already sent it to Patrick Leahy's office, Washington, D.C., Vermont State Police, and Channel 5 and Channel 3 News.
Okay.
And the fact that he's been living in this apartment number 8, claiming residency downstairs, and Economical Services pays his rent. He gets on his computer and he sells Yu-Gi-Oh cards and he gets money for it. And I'm wanting to make sure that he's claiming that money because he doesn't pay child support. He ought to be paying child support, shouldn't he? He's got a kid.
He would only pay child support for a child not living with him.
Well, he claims residency downstairs. So he should be paying child support because he was denied Social Security. And he hasn't filed for an appeal. So they pay him $56 a month cash benefits to buy whatever, which he spends on weed, and I can verify that. And he gets food stamps, and they pay $198 a month for him to live downstairs, whether he's claiming that he's in apartment 2 or number 3, depends on the time of day and night. However, he does not live on paper with my grandson and daughter, so therefore, I'm a mother. I've been a mother for years, and I know that if the father is absent from the house, he definitely ought to be paying some kind of support. He shouldn't have the state paying his way.
Yep.
He's not disabled.
We take that information as a fraud referral.
Yeah, that's what I tried doing the other day. And then he came out because, like I said, the apartments are so close, he can hear every word I say. So he starts storming up and down the stairs. Then he starts taking it out on my daughter, which she's a vulnerable adult, emotionally vulnerable adult, because she's been subjected to his abuse so many times, and that is a fact that's been through the courts. He even had her locked up in Brattleboro Retreat right after she gave birth and was still bleeding from giving birth, okay? So this guy is not paying child support. He's living solely off the state. I can't even get 50 cents from the state to buy a roll of toilet paper, and I am disabled, and I was on disability for 14 years, but I keep on getting denied everything. So I don't think it's very cool that this guy gets everything and does nothing.
Right. Can you provide me with his name?
Yes, ma'am. Kevin James Bickford.
Okay.
And I believe he's 38 years old, 37 or 38. I don't think he's ever worked a day in his life.
I can definitely take the information as a fraud referral. In regards to your concerns about DCF, again, I'm still going to forward it to the DCF supervisors.
Yes, please.
So that you get somebody to follow through with what your concerns are.
Right, and like I said,
ma'am,
ma'am,
department than economic services, so I will have to reach out to them.
I greatly appreciate you for that.
All right.
This has been very
and then
disturbing.
The other question that I had is, I remember that you had applied for, the PNI, and I mailed you out a new 210A form. Did you receive that?
No, ma'am, I did not.
All right. And your address is apartment 7109 Railroad Street in Island Pond. Is that correct?
Yeah, and let me just clue you in on that. I'm getting mail that says apartment number 17 with my address on it and all kinds of stuff. So it could be a mess up again with the mail because everybody's got my correct address, but it's not being printed properly. And I just received another, I don't know if it's a scam, fraud, or whatever, but I received a form from, it says Social Security saying that I owe them and I need to pay it immediately, $2,495. And I'm like, well, damn, back in November 2019, I got a letter saying that I owed $7,000 because they found me ineligible after 14 years. So I'm not quite sure what's going on other than the scheming and scamming and the corrupt organized crime that's been committed against me. And that's I've submitted all of this information to the FBI and Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. because of all the organized crime that's happening here. Mail fraud, and like I said, you know, when I get that form, like you told me, I have to have a doctor. Well, I can't even get an established doctor up here because they're a conflict of interest. And then I try to get my Medicaid, and I was sent the wrong form because it was for disabled people. It wasn't for regular, and I'm not technically disabled on paperwork right now, only in my medical files, not by Social Security. And you know, I'm in the process. I've already sent in my application to disability to reapply plus an appeals on the previous situation. So I should be able to qualify for some kind of assistance.
So, Kimberly, do you have a previous primary care provider that we could send the 210A form to?
No, my previous, see, this was the problem. When I moved out of here in 2007, okay? I never had a regular doctor after that because of my religion and belief, and I don't do doctors. I take care of myself. And so therefore that's verifiable through my Medicare records. The only time I go to the doctors was when I had an issue with my pacemaker and it needed to be replaced. So ever since then, I didn't even go back to get staples taken out of my chest after having a second pacemaker because I don't do doctors or medicines. So I never signed up with another primary doctor. But I did go to Northeast Kingdom Human Services and had a reevaluation done on my PTSD as well as and that was done in 2017, and I had another evaluation done in 2016, and they found that I'm still disabled through PTSD, domestic violence related, and they told me to go see Aaron Billings, a counselor. Well, I saw him twice, and then they called and told me that he would no longer be counseling with me, and they put me on the list to counsel with somebody else, and they never did that. What they did was they put it down that I was a no-show, no-call, and then disqualified me for services through Northeast Kingdom Human Services, and I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't have all of it in my previous attorney files. Yeah, and see, and in Montpelier office, they totally wiped out all of my medical records from 2005 when I was initially diagnosed disabled to the year of 2017, where they say that they requested my records and they got records from the counselor, but don't show the ones from the doctor. However, I've got the records that were sent from the doctor to Social Security and the date that it happened. And this certain individual put down that because he only got my counseling records, that I don't qualify for disability. So for 3 years, I've been fighting unjustifications.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and so I was running for state representative in our district, to be honest with you, for 2020. It was in the newspaper, and they stole my house trailer and my car. And don't think for a minute I don't believe that this is organized crime, because I filed many lawsuits against all of them. And the fact that my house came up missing and my mailman was posting all of my mail, returning it to sender vacant and abandoned, which that is so untrue, and I have facts of that too. You see what I'm saying? So this has all been nothing short of an organized crime against me. And this piece that I just told you about DCF showing up at my door, same role players that started doing dirty to me back in 2007, when I have record right here in front of me that they organized a crime of kidnapping my children under false pretenses. They all said they hadn't seen or heard from me in several months, but they were right there in my face a week before that. And it says so right in the court records. DCF lied and Vermont State Police went along with it in order to take my children from me.
Oh dear. All right.
So
what I can do for you is I can send you out the new another 210A form, and you can have actually any type of medical provider, as you find one, can complete that form for you.
Really? Thank you for letting me know that, because
a medical doctor, I mean, could be if you go to a chiropractor, if you go to acupuncture, if you go to anybody who provides you with some sort of mental or physical care, they can complete that form.
Thank you very much for allowing me to know that, because nobody has made me aware of that. And the fact that NECA should know that and didn't make me aware of it.
Well, I don't know why they wouldn't, but now that you know that, I will make sure that one goes out in the mail to you today.
Okay, great. So if I was to go to, say, Northeast Kingdom, now see, Graham from Patrick Leahy's office has even called Northeast Kingdom Human Services again last Thursday and talked to Christy and said, why hasn't anybody found this girl a case manager yet? Well, girl Christy calls me and says, Ms. Crossan, we're still working on finding you a case manager. She's emailed people. Nobody's getting back to her, so they're not getting back to me.
Well, I would definitely follow up, because if they're the ones that you've seen most recently, that would make the most sense, just to have somebody complete.
That's what I'm saying, and I've already done my intake. I haven't had to do counseling for many years, and I had to sign up for counseling. I got to do a Zoom appointment on February 26th. So they know that I've got situations. Why aren't they helping me?
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. I know it's a challenging time right now during COVID for sure. All right, Kimberly. Well, I'm sorry, but I need to let you go because I've got another meeting. But I want to go grab that form and drop it in the mail right
Okay,
now.
and please make sure that you get through to that whoever it is in regards to that situation with my grandson, because this is not cool and violating our rights. And I've never had to lock my door in many, many years, and I'm a widow. And
Right.
I'm locking my doors because I don't trust him.
Okay.
He charged at me with his middle fingers up and calling me a effing psycho. My apartment. He shouldn't even be up here. My safety is jeopardized because of the DCF worker and whoever she was accompanied by.
Okay. All right. Well, you take care. Try to be safe, and I'll get that form out to you.
Yes,
okay?
please, and make sure that they're aware I have pictures and video of it all.
I will.
Thank you kindly. Also, Northeast Kingdom Human Services, a girl named Tiffany that was in contact with me over the weekend. She can verify the fact that for 2 hours straight, there was a screeching, squealing noise from what sounded like interference from a microphone coming from my daughter's apartment, trying to irritate me, which was actually hurting the ears of my grandson. So please make sure that's noted, that Northeast Kingdom Human Services is very well aware of it. They heard it themselves.
All right. I will make sure.
Okay.
We'll get that sent off as well.
Thank you kindly. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.